Thank you.
Courtney's setting up his gear, and he's almost ready. He's lifting up the accordion. There he goes. A big hand for Courtney, because accordions are very heavy. Have you ever tried to lift an accordion? They're heavy. Have you ever tried to throw an accordion? Many times.
We'd like to do a piece, very moving piece about love. I wrote it after a woman broke up with me. So it's kind of about the broken-hearted kind of love. But it brings a lot of joy to our melancholy hearts. It's called Counterpoint.
very sad moment that Courtney had. I'm glad you're doing much better now. That's what music does. Make you sad, make you happy, make you mad. We do a little bit of market research every time we do a concert, and I know some of you have already answered this question, but I'd like you to raise your hands. How many of you have never seen us before? Could you please raise your hands? Oh, great, awesome. Well, could you keep them up though, because I need to. Hold on. Just keep. You and back. Okay. Okay, great. And here's my next question. How many of you are seeing us for the first time? Mom? No? Howie? Okay. So, hey, we're Three Leg Torso. We're from Portland. We're very proud to be from Portland. And we, in addition to performing with orchestras and touring and doing all other kind of really cool things, we also write music for film and for television. And this next piece is a good example of the type of music that we would write for a film. And it's a story about a frog who works as a spy, and he's out on a mission and he gets captured by the enemy. And they give him this truth serum that has some interesting chemical properties. Now, folks down in Eugene and Arcata know exactly what we're talking about. But we're gonna, sorry. But we're gonna try to give you that feeling. So if you'd all close your eyes, and I'm gonna check, just make sure that your eyes are closed because you're supposed to be, imagining this, okay? So this tune is called Frog, Secret Agent. that okay? Hey, you know, this is so much fun. Really, a lot of fun. And I want to quickly introduce my bandmates because I'm sure a lot of you don't have the concert programs. If you don't, you should get one, and they're free. This fellow right here who plays the accordion and also the saxophone is my good friend. Well, you know, we've been working together. Don't laugh. We've been working together for over 20 years, and we've been good friends for about 10 of those 20 years. It's my good friend Courtney Vondrelli on the accordion. Behind me at the drum kit, good friend of mine, TJ Arco. Please stand up. Milo Fultz on the bass. Big hand for Milo. And our symphonic percussionist, who is a wonderful player, Brett Pascal.
Of course, we want to mention my good friend, Mr. Bela Raphael Balog on the violin. This next tune is a tune that dates back to the early 1600s, before Southeast Portland existed. But this was etched in some caves in Southeast Portland around Hawthorne and 16th. And we discovered it when we were doing an archaeological dig, which we often do as a band. And we'd like to play for you now this piece, which is called, actually the name is in Latin, so I can't really pronounce it. So let's just call it Moroccan Jig for tonight. Hey, we're getting close to the end of the concert, but we're still got a little bit of distance to go. And I have a few thanks to say. First off, step aside, please. I've got to say thank you to Maestro Gregory Voida, such a fine conductor, a pleasure to work with. You know, we normally sound pretty good, but with an orchestra like this, the Portland Festival Symphony, we sound great. Thank you, everyone. And it was much earlier in the year that we thought how fabulous it would be to play with the Portland Festival Symphony. And to make it happen, we needed to fund this collaboration. So we started a GoFundMe campaign, which many of you out here have contributed to. And I want to thank you very much for helping us collaborate with the Portland Festival Symphony to put on this concert. Let's give yourselves and those of you that didn't contribute but are here a round of applause. And I'd also like to turn the mic over to Bela, because we also had some contributors who didn't make it on the program, and he's going to thank them.
Thank you, Courtney. Yeah, a lot of folks gave after the deadline for the program printing, so I'm going to read these folks off, and thank you so much. We're so grateful. This is the most amazing project that we've worked on in a long time. So I want to actually thank Gregory Voida, Al Nicknabard, who's the president of the Portland Festival Symphony. I'd like to thank my dad, who actually founded the Portland Festival Symphony 40 years ago after getting his American citizenship to celebrate and to bring music to the parks. Thank you, Dad. Thank you, Puppy. Brian Wanamaker in the Falcon Arts community. Thank you so much, Brian. Todd Lebo and Anita Barbie. Thank you so much, you guys. Also, Karen Ditzler, Jamie Bloom, and Jim McGinn, Marie Alvarado, Jamie Hampton, and Ashley Rowland, Jacqueline Pierce, Linda Silver, Lori Luck, NFN Sprung, Tanya Ferreira, Kelly M., Wendy Page, Jamie Vandenberg, Kathy Kramer, Steve Banchero of David Kerr Violin Shop, Kenrick Ash, who just finished our website. We're so excited because it looks awesome. And also Ed Carpenter and our fundraising team. And you know, we did a lot of work to raise money for this. And I want to thank Courtney Vondrelli, who's my buddy here, and also Matthias Balog, who's my son and gave me a lot of tech advice. He's only 12. And Mana Shintani, who's wonderful, has been a great sounding board, and Lajos Balog, who's my dad. I want to thank my band too. Thank you, everyone.
Torso! Woo! Yay! Thank you guys. There's one more number, and they don't know Stars and Stripes, so they're not gonna play, okay? But now we're gonna draw the raffles, okay? So we'll see who conducts this year, and we also see who goes home with some wonderful toy violins. Apparently they preloaded with songs, so you just push the button and pretend. It's kind of like conducting, but with a violin. Here comes Al with all the tickets. Oh, lots of tickets. I like that. So first we're going to draw for the toy violins. I think these guys have another gig somewhere because they already started packing.